For more than a century, we have placed great emphasis on educating our nation's youth, on civic responsibility, flag etiquette, and patriotism. In 1999, the National Citizenship Education Teacher Award was created to recognize teachers who strive to implement these values into their classroom curriculum. This year's award winners are three exceptionally devoted Americans who have undoubtedly fulfilled their responsibilities as citizens of the United States through the art of teaching. These three honorees were selected from across the nation for their originality and dedication to citizenship education. They have effectively encouraged their students to become better citizens by spreading knowledge to our nation's history. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the National Citizenship Education of the Year, representing grades K-5, Ms. Deborah Howell of Snohomish, Washington. Mrs. Howell has a unique teaching environment where she teaches in a multi-age classroom with students ranging from 3rd to 6th graders. Her peers express how well she handles the age difference and curriculum within the classroom, and we are truly amazed. Being that she teaches multiple grade levels at a time, Deborah is well-versed in teaching her students all subjects. Through these various subjects, Deborah instills deep feelings of patriotism, citizenship, and high regard and respect for our nation's veterans and active duty troops at every opportunity she gets. Deborah has been teaching in the Granite Falls Schools District for 26 years, and last year she received an enormous honor signifying her excellence in teaching America's youth. She was inducted into the National Teacher Hall of Fame. This is certainly not the only honor Deborah has received in her career as a teacher. She was the Walmart Regional Teacher of the Year in 2004 and Washington State Teacher of the Year in 2008-2009. There is a running list of awards and recognitions Deborah has received, and the VFW is proud to add to that list this year. Deborah has been promoting patriotism in her students for decades, and we couldn't be more thankful to her for her deep devotion to country. She instills values in her students that have resulted in momentous events in her community. Her students led a successful campaign to get the Granite Falls Veterans Day Parade reinstated. After an 80-year hiatus, when they realized they were successful in their mission, they invited a Vietnam veteran to be the Grand Marshal. What an honor it must have been for that veteran. Wow. She inspired her students to write and appear before the school board to request that all schools in their district be required to fly the POW-MIA flag. And again, her students were successful at their mission because of the values they've been taught about. American patriotism and the importance of the troops. Her students distribute buddy poppies on Veterans Day, which in Washington State I imagine is blistering cold, which really shows their dedication they learned from their teacher. Her students also email and write letters to the troops year-round and send hundreds of care packages. The soldiers have been fortunate enough to receive these priceless gifts from Mrs. Howell's students. Mrs. Howell's students come visit the kids when they return home to let them know how much they appreciate the letters and gifts. As part of her curriculum, she has the students participate in the Patriots Pen essay competition every year. The values she has taught these kids to not only last while they are in her classroom, they go out into the community to help spread patriotism and civic responsibility. This is evident in the fact that they continue to participate in VFW scholarship programs like the Voice of Democracy audio essay competition as they continue on in school. It's people like Deborah that truly make a difference in this world, teaching her students to have and demonstrate paramount regard for veterans is just one of the many reasons Mrs. Howell is receiving this award today. She is an inspiration and role model to her students and the community, and we are so honored to have her among the elite individuals who teach the youth of this great country. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Deborah Howell, sponsored by VFW Post 1501 in Arlington, Washington.
Thank you so much for this honor to be here today with all of you. I have to tell you, it'd be a lot easier if you were all 9, 10, and 11 years old. This is a little intimidating. I want to start by saying that I'm a very proud Women's Auxiliary member, 1561 Post, Washington State, Arlington. Woo! When I was preparing some short comments to make today, one of the images that came to my mind was in 1967, I was 6 years old, and everything that I've read with my students and the things we've talked about related to the Vietnam War and the images that were first seen in black and white on the news, and those memories of watching my father lay down on the floor next to the television, watching it and leaning over the top of him and asking him, "What is going on? What is this?" And he would try to explain to me what it all meant, what it all stood for. And I think those images have stayed with me more than anything else as far as my work with veterans. We have the most amazing community in Granite Falls, Washington. This award is for that community, the kids, my fellow teachers and friends who are here today. It's about everybody working together. One person can't do this. We have lots and lots of great teachers in our school district. So when you see kids and you think they're all a bunch of punks and that, there's a lot of great kids out there that are making a difference and who really do love and honor you veterans, really. As Commander mentioned in the opening statements, we worked very, very hard. My brother Mike and I teach together. He's not here today, so Mike, I know you're watching. He's the one that's really responsible for the POW MIA flag. And when I found out I would be getting some monetary award with this, we started working on getting all of the schools in the Granite Falls School District. So in September, they will all be flying the POW MIA flag. Very cool. So lastly, I just would like to thank my amazing friends who are out here today. I love you all. And my family who traveled all the way from Washington State to be here and to celebrate together. Carol, I love you. You're wonderful. And I would like to dedicate this award to my father-in-law, Bill Howell, who's a World War II veteran, and to my amazing dad, Dwayne Shireman, who's also a veteran. Thank you for this honor.
Unfortunately, the next teacher we wanted to honor was unable to be here under her doctor's advisement against traveling, but that won't keep us from describing the exemplary teacher she is. Therefore, it is my pleasure to announce the National Citizenship Education Teacher of the Year, representing grades 6-8, Mrs. Kelly McDermott, a 7th and 8th grade mathematics teacher at Hidden Oaks Middle School in Prior Lake, Minnesota. Mrs. McDermott's fellow peers and community believe she holds the values and inspiration it takes to be awarded the VFW National Citizenship Award for Educators. And we couldn't agree more. We are absolutely thrilled to name such a brilliant woman the Educator of the Year for grades 6 to 8. Since 2007, Kelly has been instilling patriotism and civic responsibility in her students throughout various programs. I have a feeling 2007 wasn't the first time she displayed her love of country and her utmost respect and gratitude toward the troops and veterans. Mrs. McDermott initiated a troop support program 5 years ago in order to connect her math students with deployed service members. This program provides her students with a real-world appreciation for national service, personal commitment, and the rights and freedoms provided to Americans by those who defend us. There are many individuals in this world who do not understand or hold these values in high regard, and we are so thankful to have a wonderful person like her teaching our youth these extremely important principles that often get overlooked. Through this troop support program, Kelly has her students write letters to deployed troops because, as most of us know, it can get very lonely on duty, and sometimes a letter from a young person who truly cares and appreciates us is just what we need. She also organizes care packages to be sent to various units overseas with the help of her students who gather items and pack the boxes. They also sent packages to Iraqi children who we all know are innocent in this war and have little to be thankful for. She arranges Skype communications during class time between her students and deployed service members. This allows students to understand firsthand what it means to defend your country, and it gives them the understanding they need to have the respect for our troops that they so badly deserve. Between coordinating care package send-offs, writing letters to the troops, and teaching her students about patriotism and mathematics, she has earned herself quite a few recognitions for her outstanding teaching methods and commendable civic service. She was selected as Middle School Teacher of the Year in 2008 and 2009, and was awarded the 2009 Star of the North Award from the Minnesota Congressman for promoting local community service and national troop support. The list truly goes on and on. Mrs. McDermott continually focuses on developing her students into mature young adults who can truly appreciate what it means to wear the uniform. She has demonstrated time and again her passion for community service and her dedication for the United States military. She is a patriot through and through, and we thank her for passing these ideals down to her students. Her dedication should be an inspiration to all she emulates, impeccably high standards in youth mentoring. Mrs. McDermott certainly has done her part in making sure our youth understands and appreciates these very complex values. Her involvement in the community and her dedication and devotion to her students and the troops have earned her the utmost respect and admiration among all of us today. Mrs. Kelly McDermott was sponsored by VFW Post 6208 in Prior Lake, Minnesota. We truly appreciate her hard work, and we will soon let her know that when she physically receives the plaque that the Adjutant General will now read.
National Citizenship Education Teachers Award, grade level 6 through 8, presented to Kelly McDermott, Hidden Oaks Middle School, 2012-2013. There you go, Chief.
All set? And now, it is with honor that I introduce to you the National Citizenship Education Teacher of the Year, representing grades 9 to 12, Mr. George Bud Zorman from Mountain Home Junior High School in Mountain Home, Arkansas. Bud teaches 9th grade American history, but he doesn't just teach his students American history. He really shows it to them. Bud shows them American history every day when they walk in his classroom. He is one of few professional teachers who wears battle scars, and I'm not talking about ones painted on for reenactments. Mr. Zorman served his country as a United States Marine. His students have the unique fortune of being taught by a true American hero. He knows firsthand what it means to be a patriot and knows what service means in the biggest of ways. Bud, before I continue, I just want to thank you for your service. We are proud and honored to have you here today. Bud has been inspiring his students to learn and appreciate America's heritage and military service for many years. His enthusiasm for U.S. history is apparent in his teaching methods. His knowledge and innovative teaching methods help bring textbooks to life and is a reflection of his hard work, dedication, and passion for teaching our nation's youth. Mr. Zorman's resourceful techniques enable him to demonstrate history to his students instead of merely telling it to them. Every year, Bud and his students take part in Revolutionary War reenactments where they make their own costumes, replica weapons, and write up a script to reenact a revolutionary battle for the school and community. What better way to understand something than to actually act it out? Bud also instills the importance of community patriotism and civic responsibility in his students by requiring them to complete 10 hours of community service. In addition, he teaches them something VFW is very fond of: flag etiquette. He even has them participate in flag retirement ceremonies. This is a skill we find admirable in a member of the community and are so pleased to know he makes it a requirement in his classroom. Bud has an array of unique methods to help teach his students about patriotism, military history, and respect for veterans and active duty troops. He invites guest speakers to come to the class to talk on various topics relevant to American history. He has students conduct research papers on historical events in America. They pack care packages for troops, create World War II tour of duty scrapbooks, and compete in the VFW Voice of Democracy audio essay competition. Bud isn't only an amazing teacher in the classroom at Mountain Home Junior High, he is still very active in the military community through ROTC programs, drill instructor programs, and in his membership with various veterans groups. And it doesn't stop there. He leads a trip to Washington, D.C. every year for students who are interested in an educational adventure outside of school. He takes them to each of the war monuments and memorials and explains the significance and history. He also takes his students to Gettysburg for a first-hand walking tour of that monumental battlefield. The knowledge he shares with his students will transcend generations, and they are indeed fortunate to have been taught by one of America's finest. Please help me in welcoming Mr. George Bud Zorman, sponsored by VFW Post 3246 in Mountain Home, Arkansas.
National Citizenship Education Teacher Award, grade level 9 through 12, presented to George Bud Zorman, Mountain Home Junior High School, 2012-2013.
Thanks, sir. Semper Fi. Hoorah! I'm so very honored to be here in your midst. That's first and foremost. This award is not for me, these are for my kids. They work hard. I facilitate. They make it happen. They learn. They're involved in the community. Our class mottos: freedom is not free. Remember the fallen. Honor those who serve and understand the true meaning and value of freedom. These young people are our future. They're where we're headed to. It's important that they know and understand where we've come from, how we got here, and where we might be headed to. I try to deliver that to them, not just through a textbook, but through my actions. My students have seen me cry, and they've seen me laugh. I know them, I love them, and they know I do. Some of the things that we do in class: we do a veterans program every year where we honor the local veterans, and we have them in our school. We do programs with the American Legion through their oratorical speech contest, through the VFW, which I'm a proud member from the state of Arkansas, 3246, Mountain Home, Arkansas. We do flag etiquette and retirement. I teach them, in addition to our class mottos, that sacrifice means absolutely nothing without remembrance. I would challenge you to remember that today. My students also create their own weapons and costumes and participate in a Revolutionary War reenactment every year where we have about 5 or 6 horses galloping around. I have a good buddy of mine who shoots off his Civil War cannon for me, and we just have a great time, and the students learn from that. They'll never forget that as long as they live. We contribute to the Marine Corps Toys for Tots. Last year, I'm proud to say that my students alone raised $10,000 for Toys for Tots. Myself and Master Chief Wilson, who's a retired 24 years United States Navy, run a military club as well to promote not only military services, but our patriotism and our civic virtues and responsibilities as American citizens. The kids contribute to food banks. They contribute all kinds of volunteer hours. I was really shocked, to be honest with you. 10 hours is required for part of their grade from my pre-AP advanced students. I was really surprised to find that majority do not stop at 10. Once they get involved and they get involved in the community, I have some doing as many as 50 hours, folks, in one school year. Lastly, I would say that character education is also a big part of what I try and instill in the students. And we have something that we call is very simply, just do the right thing. And when I tell them just, the entire class will say, do the right thing. Consider the consequences of your actions, and so forth. And you would be surprised how many of our young people, unfortunately, do not get that at home. I try and deliver that to them, not only through what I say, but through my actions and my deeds. I'm a proud, retired United States Marine. I spent 21 years. I've sweated for this country. I have bled for this country. And I am so very honored to be here and receive this award. Thank you very much.